Where to start? I don't know. I guess I'll start with the electrical. The guy who had this before me did some creative wiring, shall we say, and wired these two Harbor Freight LED lights that I'm not even sure are meant for motorcycles up here. Those don't work right. Turn signals don't work. What else? The assembly for the rear brake light, a little unit that goes right here. There's a spring attached to it. When it's, of course, depressed, it activates the rear brake light. That doesn't even exist at all. So working around to the back, you've got this monstrosity. I want to completely replace that, but the rear brake light's not even hooked up. Those things at one point were fabled to be wired to the front brake lever, so at least somebody would see a brake light when this thing was slowing down, and I don't believe those are working right now either. So I had this out for a ride this morning. I knew the battery was a little bit weak. It was turning over strong, but it just wasn't quite strong enough to get it to fire. It almost did, but I ended up having to bump start it and then ran like a champ. I shut it off a couple times and started it, and it would start fine. And then when I got it home, I turned on, I stopped it again, and I decided I wanted to run it a little bit more, and look at there. Sucker doesn't work. So, yep, nothing. No lights are coming on, so I don't know if it's a short or if the battery is just dead finally. It could also be a short because I'm dealing with stuff like this all over the bike. Nothing electrical wise seems to work quite right. But now what I want to do to this thing is make sure that it's trail worthy, street worthy. I'm going to go on a big trip in June up to Washington. I'll be trailering up to this big event up there, and I just want the damn thing to be reliable. This is Jessica's bike. I ride it quite a bit too, and I just don't want it dying out on the trail. So I want the electrical completely gone through, and I also want to make some upgrades to the rear brake light assembly. There's a kit from Tusk that rear fender and everything, it's all integrated: turn signals, brake light, license plate mount. So probably going to buy that and update the plastics. I would also, sorry to get to it, I want to replace this whole headlight assembly. I don't know if I want to put a rally tower up there or just put a different headlight altogether. I kind of would like to have the option to mount a GPS unit to this with some USB ports for my cell phone. There's a company called Nice CNC that sells some pretty trick stuff that you can basically mount to the handlebar, and it kind of has a little platform with a windshield. So I may go that route, but I definitely want to wire in a new headlight assembly and some auxiliary lights. New front fender. Probably going to get something a little more updated to bring it out of the 90s, and going to throw some new tires on there. I did put a new gas tank, which it badly needed, and it needed a new carburetor. I took apart the old carburetor and it was completely shot. It was a stock one. I bought this high dollar unit from Billatron, and or excuse me, Electron. It's the Billatron carburetor. It doesn't have any jets or anything like that, and I'm not quite sure of all the engineering behind it, but it automatically adjusts for elevation. It doesn't matter if you're at sea level or if you're at 10,000 feet. It just automatically somehow addresses that issue. But the issue I'm having is when I start getting up there in RPMs, like say around 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th gear, mid to top end, I get a lot of cutting out and sputtering. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot of the time. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the way that I routed the fuel lines, but what happens is I end up with a very large air bubble that kind of goes from about here to here. And I don't know if that's causing it to sputter. It could be. I don't think it's really the valve clearances, because this has a new top end on it. It has a 440 big bore kit that only has, I think, a couple thousand miles on it. I mean, it's not inconceivable that the valves need to be readjusted from that, but I think it's maybe something else. The other thing I would like to do is I would potentially like to update the front forks. I know that these are not known for greatness for this particular model. It's a 1994 DR350SE. So it was kind of like the dual sport, street and trail version, and it didn't have the best front fork assembly. The one that was meant specifically for off-road has the better front forks, and I've seen guys bolting on the triple tree and front forks and front tire from a I think it's a 250 RMX. So anyway, I don't know, I might explore that as well, but let's see what else. I want to put a kickstart assembly. It can be done. I just have to buy the kickstart assembly for either a DR250 or 350 kickstart model, and it will bolt right on. So that can be done. I'd like to have that done just so that I'm not out on the trail and have some electrical issue where the starter won't turn over, and I have the option to kick it over. I would also potentially like to put an oil cooler on here, and I've seen a number of guys do that as well. So electrical, kickstart assembly, oil cooler, front suspension, the rear brake light assembly, and just cleaning up all the electrical and doing whatever needs to be done to ensure that I'm not overtaxing the electrical system. And let's see what else. I got a new seat from Seat Concepts that I want to slap on there and address the issue with why it's cutting out. I have no idea. I'm kind of at my wit's end after it not wanting to start from following my ride. Some days I want to throw in the towel and get a KTM or something. But I do love this bike. It is super fun to ride, and with that new carburetor on there, the thing absolutely rips low to mid range. It wheelies no problem. I mean, you don't need to clutch it at all. You just kind of lean on the back seat and twist the throttle in first, second, even third gear, and that thing will stand right up. It runs amazing in that regard. Super fun bike. It's a shame Suzuki doesn't make these anymore. They went to the DR400, which a lot of people, I don't know, kind of not a real popular bike, but I won't get too far down that rabbit trail. I just like to fix this thing and keep it going and enjoy it for as long as I can. So tell me what you think. If it's something that you don't want to get into, I completely understand that, but we'll just see where it goes. All right, thanks a lot.